Okay, so I'm gonna give a hand at cold reads. I'm not very good at cold reads because I don't really do them. Um, Sorry, excuse my really ridiculously messy hair. I just turned to a random page in this monologue book that I love, 172, and I'll be reading the role of Mags. I don't know how it works with auditions in cold reads because I've never had to do cold reads for an audition. It was more just acting sides, or monologues. So I'm guessing they would tell you a little bit about the character. I don't know. But Mags is somewhere in her 40s, pretty, who once tried her hand at glamour and has settled into softer wholesomeness instead. Jilly is her younger sister. They've been going through boxes of mementos in Mags's house, and Jilly has asked her about a man in a photograph. We did go out walking once. He couldn't see, and I thought that maybe I could help him. Maybe I could, and we would stay on the trail, and it would, well, wouldn't it be exhilarating for him and me, too? To be up on that trail that starts at the base of Sunset Boulevard, right near the nursery there, and winds up to the ridge of the Santa Monica Mountains, and then follows the crest of the hill. You can see, that is, you can see, but he could see shapes and things, and I think he knew the water was there. Even if you couldn't see each little white cap of each little wave, you're walking on the ridge of these mountains and you can see downtown LA on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other. I mean, there it is in full color. Some cinematographer's dream. So to get up there, I fixed my backpack with 4 bottles of water, 2 apiece, and 4 granola bars. This was before the advent of balance bars. And he had brought his cane, of course. I thought I would watch out for roots or 2. So we went, slowly. We went, and he was so excited that I wanted to do this. More excited, I think, about my wanting to do it than about doing it. But he did it. He went along, and we're out there, and people scrambling up the trail all around us. People, dogs, kids. And there was this moment when we were halfway up to the top. And it wasn't really because I had to assume this mommy role, this role of pathfinder, telling him where to step and what to avoid, and don't put your foot down there. There's a big place where the path was just washed away, or there's a hole there. So it wasn't really fun, but it was an experiment, to see if we could do this. The 2 of us, together. We got to this point, a stopping off place, where people went out to the ledge to scope out the view, and I was guiding him over toward it, and all the people were in the background, and I just realized how distinguished he looked. His white hair just straggly enough that it was flowing a little in the wind, just a little, and his cane, and the way he held himself, like he remembered, always, the lineup of cases he had won, and the causes he had fought for. And then I looked more closely, and there, in the bright sunlight, out in the wind, I realized that he looked old. Old and fragile. And that was when I realized I couldn't do it. I couldn't go beyond there with him. So that was my first ever cold reading done. I mean, ever. I've never done cold readings. And that was horrible, I bet. So if you're good at cold readings, or you know a lot about cold readings, and you have any advice or whatever, just you can comment and let me know. I know there were a few. I kept telling myself in my head, just stay in character, and then I kept telling myself to not glance around everywhere, because I look like I'm crazy, because what I'm picturing in my head is me sort of leaning, kind of like with my arms folded, and then leaning over, looking at a photo here. And I mean, I guess it's okay, because when I talk to someone about a photo, I do glance around when I talk about them, and then I do this, and I use a lot of hand gestures, but I don't see that with mags. So I kept telling myself, like, concentrate on, just keep your eyes on the photo and really talk about. But it's hard when it's cold readings. I mean, if you know the lines, like if they're memorized, and then you say it like you're, like da-da-da-da, like that's easier because you know what you're going to say. But having to glance down and then look up and glance down, you can't help but just, so that's something I need to work on. So don't tell me that, because I already know that. But anything else that I didn't mention, or that you think would help me,